Imagine you pay to build a highway. You pay to pave the roads, you pay for the streetlights, the maintenance, and, you pay for the actual cars driving on it.
Right.
But then, right before you reach your destination, a toll booth just drops down and demands you pay extra for a fast lane you didn't even ask for.
Yeah, a fast lane to nowhere, really.
Exactly. And today, we are doing a deep dive into how an entire industry is basically paying billions for that exact toll booth. Welcome to the deep dive. I'm so glad you could join us today.
Yeah, it's great to be here. And the most brilliant part of this toll booth we're talking about is that the people paying for it usually think it was their own strategic idea.
Oh, for sure.
It's framed as this premium marketing upgrade, but mechanically, it really operates like a tax.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because our mission on this deep dive is to pull back the curtain on this trap that's just, well, hidden in plain sight within the automotive dealership industry.
Very expensive trap.
Highly expensive. We're specifically analyzing third-party inventory boost packages and social media add-ons. Our source material today is its incredibly detailed industry breakdown. It's titled The Third-Party Inventory Boost, a Dealership Marketing Trap.
And it is a fascinating read.
It really is. So we are going to look at the math, the algorithms, and the psychology to figure out if paying extra to, boost inventory actually drives real profitable sales, or if it just quietly drains your marketing budget.
Yeah, and to truly understand how this trap functions, we first have to set a baseline of reality. We can do that using the Cox Automotive 2025 car buyer journey data.
Okay, lay it on us.
So this data shows that 75% of vehicle buyers use third-party websites during their buying process.
Wow, 75%.
Right, and you compare that to 59% using dealership websites and 41% using search engines. So we are talking about massive platforms here.
Like CarGurus and Autotrader.
Exactly. Cars.com, CRFAX, these platforms absolutely unequivocally help sell cars. I mean, the shoppers are there. The platforms matter.
So to be clear for you listening, this deep dive is not about abandoning third-party sites.
No, not at all.
It's not a hit piece on marketplaces. The core problem we are exploring today is what happens when a business moves beyond paying the basic foundational fee to list their product.
Yes, that's the pivot.
When they start paying extra to boost or promote or feature that same product without demanding any proof that the add-on is creating profitable incremental sales.
Right, and that distinction between a foundational presence and paid amplification, well, that's where the entire business model shifts. Because the fundamental absurdity of the boost model becomes really obvious when you look at who carries the actual risk.
Oh, this part blew my mind.
Right. Think about what a dealership does before a car ever appears on a digital screen. They own the physical inventory. They paid capital to acquire that car at an auction or, in a trade-in.
They carry all the heavy lifting. I mean, they pay for the reconditioning, which means fixing the brakes, replacing the tires, detailing the interior so it's actually ready to sell.
Yep, physical labor.
And they are paying floor plan costs, which is basically the daily interest a dealer pays the bank just to keep that car sitting on the physical lot. Every single day it sits there, it eats into the profit margin.
Exactly. And they are the ones dealing with the heat cases, too.
Oh, yeah, the angry customers who come back 2 weeks later with a blown transmission.
Right. So the dealer carries 100% of the operational, financial, and reputational risk. They merchandise it, photograph it, price it, and then feed that data to the platforms.
And what does the third-party vendor carry?
Nothing. No aging risk, no inventory depreciation, no reconditioning bills. They simply own the digital real estate. They just control the platform where the comparison shopping happens.
It's like, imagine you own a retail product. You pay to manufacture it, package it, and ship it to a grocery store.
Yeah.
You pay the store a monthly fee to stock it on the shelf. And then the store manager walks up and says, hey, for an extra $1,000 a month, I'll point a flashlight at your cereal box.
What's fascinating here is how perfectly that analogy captures the mechanism of the modern marketplace. I mean, the vendor built the arena, and the dealer already paid the entry fee to get their car inside.
Yeah.
But now the vendor is monetizing the traffic around that car over and over again. They don't own the product, but they are selling the dealer a faster lane for a product the dealer already paid to put in the building.
Which brings us to a massive psychological disconnect. I mean, if this toll booth setup is so heavily skewed in the platform's favor, why do smart business owners keep handing over the extra cash?
It's the data. Or well, the illusion of data.
Right, the source material points to something very specific, the metric mirage. The vendors use a dashboard of numbers that make these boost packages look like an overwhelming, undeniable success.
The metric mirage is incredibly effective, mostly because it preys on our desire to see immediate activity. A vendor will sit across a desk from a dealer and say, hey, our boost package generated 4,000 impressions and 300 VDP views.
VDP meaning vehicle detail page views, right? Like when a shopper actually clicks on the specific car's page.
Exactly. And they might also sell a feature that expands the radius, taking a listing that normally shows to people within 50 miles and blasting it out nationwide.
But wait, I want to play devil's advocate for a second.
They're for it.
Aren't VDP views and impressions inherently a good thing? I mean, it's the very top of the sales funnel. You literally cannot sell a vehicle to someone who doesn't look at it. So how is getting more eyeballs on a product a trap?
Well, that logic is exactly why the pitch works so well, but it completely ignores the mathematical difference between creating placement and creating demand.
Okay, break that down.
They're absolutely not the same thing. A boosted listing overrides the platform's organic search algorithm with cache. It creates placement. It forces the car higher up on the search results page.
Right.
But it got more views is not proof of success because a VDP view is a mathematically flawed vanity metric.
Because a view doesn't necessarily mean a human being with a pulse and a checkbook is actually looking at the screen.
Precisely. I mean, a single user can generate 5 VDP views just by refreshing their browser or opening multiple tabs, or even switching from their home Wi-Fi to their phone's cellular data, which changes their IP address.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, and furthermore, you have bot traffic, inventory scrapers, accidental clicks. So when the vendor brags about 300 views, the dealer has to translate that into real-world mechanics.
They have to ask the brutal questions.
Yes. Did those views come from serious shoppers in a market where they could actually buy the car? Did they produce leads that a salesperson could actually reach on the phone?
And more importantly, did the boost help move an age unit that was stuck on the lot for 60 days? Or did it just touch a pristine, highly desirable unit that was already priced perfectly and, was going to sell by the weekend anyway?
That is the dividing line right there. The difference between an investment and a tax. Did the campaign create a buyer, or did it merely intercept a buyer who was already shopping for that exact make and model?
Right, because you have to remember the environment of a marketplace. Your car is sitting shoulder to shoulder with your competitor's car.
Exactly. Same year, similar miles, similar photos, same price band.
The platform makes comparison shopping frictionless for the consumer, but for the business owner, it turns your unique inventory into a total commodity.
Yeah, you aren't just paying for visibility. You are paying to be seen in a hyper-competitive price comparison environment where, honestly, the cheapest car usually wins the click anyway.
But even if you avoid the trap of vanity metrics, the mechanics of these platforms force you into something even more insidious, the auction effect.
Yes, the auction tax.
And this isn't just an automotive problem. If you are listening right now and running an Etsy shop or selling software via Google Ads or pushing products on Amazon, you have seen this exact same squeeze on your margins.
Because the auction effect is the inevitable endgame of any digital marketplace. Here's how the math actually unfolds. On day one, dealer A decides to pay $500 to boost their inventory. They get a massive advantage. Their cars jump over everyone else's, and they get 10 solid leads. But by day 10, dealers B, C, and D realize they are being buried. So they also pay the $500 boost fee. Now, everyone has paid for the premium placement.
So the advantage completely vanishes.
Completely. Now, dealer A is only getting 2 leads for their $500 because the pool of premium visibility is entirely diluted. It stops being a competitive strategy and transitions into an infrastructure tax.
You are paying a premium just to avoid being pushed to page 10.
Right. And in an auction-based algorithm, the house always wins. The platform is the only entity guaranteed to increase its revenue, while the businesses supplying the actual products just watch their margins shrink.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because the sources detail how this auction environment leads directly to a phenomenon called stolen credit.
Oh, this is a big one.
Dealerships, like any business, want to see a return on their marketing investment. To guarantee a good report card, they often take their cleanest, highest demand, most aggressively priced units, like, say, a pristine Toyota RE4, and they apply the boost to those vehicles.
They apply premium marketing dollars to the exact products that need marketing the least.
Exactly. And when that highly desirable car inevitably sells within 48 hours, the vendor's dashboard sends over a glossy automated report claiming, look, the boost worked. We influenced this sale.
Yeah, influenced.
But the car was a cream puff priced $2,000 below market average. That's like a wedding planner charging a matchmaking fee for a couple that was already standing at the altar.
That is exactly it. It illustrates the mechanical flaw of last-click attribution models perfectly. If a customer spends 3 weeks organically researching a specific car on a dealership's website, but then clicks a retargeted third-party ad on day 21 right before calling the store.
The vendor claims it.
Yes. The vendor's reporting software claims 100% of the credit for generating that sale. The vendor loves the term influence sales because influence is incredibly easy to claim after the fact.
So true strategy isn't about throwing money at the easiest targets. It's about being surgical.
Right. If you are going to use a boost, you apply it to the aged units, the obscure trim levels, or the vehicles where you actually have a large gross profit margin to absorb the marketing cost.
You use the extra exposure to change the outcome of a difficult situation rather than paying rent on a sale you already had in the bag.
Which is the brutal reality of measuring incremental sales. If the business would have captured the revenue regardless of the marketing spend was wasted.
But even if a dealer gets incredibly surgical and avoids the option trap on the primary website, the sources highlight that the vendors have a backup plan to extract that revenue.
They always do.
Because eventually, a vendor maxes out the digital real estate on their own platform. I mean, there are only so many top-tier search results they can sell. When that happens, they find a new place to sell you your own inventory. They follow the customer off the site and onto their phones.
The pitch evolves. The vendor comes to the dealer and says, hey, let us take your inventory and market it on social media. We will put your cars on Facebook and Instagram to reach shoppers where they spend their time.
And the financial scale of this pivot is just staggering. We are not talking about small startup fees here. According to the data in the sources, Cars.com reported averaging $2,472 a month from nearly 20,000 dealers at the end of 2025.
That's massive.
And CarGurus reported roughly $31,752 a year per subscribing dealer. These platforms have evolved far beyond basic lead providers. They are massive media companies aggressively monetizing the dealer's access to the public.
Yeah, and when they offer these social media add-ons, they're essentially packaging a new media product. But structurally, what they're executing is often just what the industry calls a feed dump.
A feed dump.
Yeah. They take a raw, unfiltered data feed of the dealer's entire inventory spreadsheet and push it into templated social media advertisements.
And a feed dump is the exact opposite of actual marketing. I mean, real marketing uses first-party data, which is the data a business actually owns, like a list of previous customers in their CRM whose leases are expiring in 90 days.
Right, a real campaign targets those specific people with tailored trade-in offers.
Exactly. A feed dump just throws a random picture of a 2018 Honda Civic in front of a teenager who happened to click on a car meme yesterday.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, that lack of targeting isn't just lazy. It creates long-term strategic damage. It creates a dependency trap.
But I imagine a lot of listeners out there running their own businesses are thinking, I don't have the time to build custom Facebook Messenger flows or write custom ad copy or install pixel tracking.
Sure, it's intimidating.
Pixel tracking, of course, being the invisible code you put on your website to track user behavior and build audiences. It's a highly technical, time-consuming process. So isn't it just a smart delegation of resources to let the vendor handle the heavy lifting of social media?
Well, it is absolutely easier in the short term. But the dependency trap snaps shut based on who owns the data architecture.
What do you mean?
Let's look at the mechanics of what happens when a shopper interacts with an ad on Facebook. If you are running your own meta campaign, meaning you built the ads inside your own Facebook business account, or if you are running your own Google vehicle ads, that customer's interaction feeds directly back into your own pixel.
Right.
The algorithm learns what your specific buyers look like. You own the audience data, you can retarget them, and your marketing ecosystem gets smarter.
Your own asset appreciates in value.
Yes, but when a third-party vendor runs your social ads through their corporate account, all of that valuable interaction happens inside their ecosystem.
Oh, I see.
The vendor captures the shopper relationship first. Their pixel learns what the local market is searching, what price ranges are hot, what creative works best. The vendor's algorithm gets smarter using the dealer's money and the dealer's cars.
Wow.
And over time, the dealership's internal marketing muscle completely atrophies. It makes them entirely dependent on the vendor for future traffic. You're paying them to build a media empire on your back.
If I'm a dealer listening to this, my first instinct is to panic and just pull my entire marketing budget offline tomorrow.
Don't do that.
Right. I'm guessing a total blackout is dangerous and reactionary. There must be a way to run a blind taste test on this inventory to see what is actually working and what is just a metric mirage.
You cannot manage what you do not measure accurately.
Yeah.
The sources are definitive on the solution here. You take back control by isolating the variables. You run a strict mathematical 30 to 60-day A/B test.
How does a business owner practically execute that without disrupting their whole sales floor?
You pick a control group. You select a group of similar vehicles, say 20 mid-size SUVs, with similar aging and price profiles. You pay to boost 10 of them.
Okay.
You do absolutely nothing extra to the other 10. You just let them sit in the organic foundational listings. And then you track the performance meticulously for 30 to 60 days. You need that length of time because a single weekend blip doesn't provide statistical significance.
That makes sense.
But the key is that you entirely ignore the vendor's dashboard.
You ignore the VDP views and the impressions.
You can note them, but they are not the deciding factor. You track the metrics that dictate the survival of the business. Lead volume, verified phone calls, actual appointments set, physical shows on the showroom floor, days to sale, the gross profit held on the deal, and your cost per sold unit.
Because if the 10 boosted SUVs get 10,000 more digital views, but they don't sell a single day faster, or they don't hold a single dollar more in gross profit than the 10 unboosted SUVs, then the boost is a mathematical failure.
Exactly. It is producing digital friction, but it is not producing return on investment. Activity is not achievement. If the metrics that matter don't move, you cancel the package immediately.
So what does this all mean? If a listener is sitting in a meeting tomorrow morning across the desk from one of these third-party reps, and the rep pulls out a glossy brochure pitching a new radius expansion or a social media feed dump, what is the exact question they need to ask to cut through the noise?
You have to interrogate the mechanics of their attribution. You look them in the eye and ask, can you show me sold unit attribution based on a first-click model, not just last-click influence?
Oh, that's good.
You ask, how do you mathematically prove these are incremental sales that my store would not have captured organically? You ask, who owns the audience data generated by this campaign, and will the leads drop directly into my CRM with full source tracking intact?
And the ultimate pressure test.
The ultimate question is, what happens to my contract if this package dramatically increases my impressions, but my actual volume of sold cars stays flat? If the rep starts tap dancing, or if they constantly try to pivot the conversation back to the sheer volume of eyeballs they can deliver, you close the brochure. Do not buy it.
It's just another toll booth at that point.
Now,
Okay, to synthesize all of these mechanics for you listening, third-party platforms are a vital piece of the ecosystem. They absolutely sell cars, and the shoppers rely on them.
yes, they are necessary.
But they cannot be your entire digital strategy. The trap activates the moment you move from paying a fair price for a listing to paying a premium tax for access to an audience you don't even control. A digital impression is never a substitute for a signed contract, and you should never pay a premium matchmaking fee for a product that was already going to sell itself.
This raises an important question about the fundamental goal of your marketing budget. Every dollar spent should be building an asset you own, not renting space in someone else's yard. You have to demand that your spending creates actual, measurable, incremental demand.
And why this matters so deeply to you, whether you are an automotive dealer fighting to protect your floor plan margins, an e-commerce director trying to untangle Google attribution data, or just someone fascinated by the underlying mechanics of modern business, is because this deep dive reveals how digital marketplaces slowly extract value from the very businesses that supply their lifeblood.
It's a brilliant model.
It is. It is highly profitable for the platform, but a potentially fatal one for the supplier who stops paying attention to the math.
It forces every business owner to confront a very uncomfortable reality about the future of digital sales. If every digital marketplace eventually turns visibility into a bidding war where only the platform is guaranteed to win, is the ultimate competitive advantage in business no longer about how well you play their algorithmic game, but how quickly you can build a self-sustaining audience of your own.
That is the real challenge. You either do the hard work of building your own audience, or you accept that you will be renting the flashlight forever. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We love unpacking these hidden business mechanics with you, and we will catch you on the next one.